Hi Peaches. Welcome to Time with Anima. Thanks for clicking on the video today. We will be looking at the 7 year itch in relationships. 7 year itch. Well, it's been proven that it's a myth. Scientifically, it is said that the cells in our body dies every 7 years and it regrows itself. But the truth is, or the article that I read says that red blood cells dies every 4 months and it regrows itself. The sperm cell dies every 3 days or four. You know, when sperms are released, it lasts for like 3 days or 4 days and then it dies. And then the brain cell actually lasts a lifetime, even after death. When you die, it lasts a couple of days, a couple of weeks or something before it completely goes or dies off. And that is when investigators are able to find out the cause of death and then the time of death, even when you die, because your cells are still active for, a couple of days, or I think. So that is that about it. But the real issue with the 7 year itch in marriages or relationships, let me say marriages, 7 year itch in marriages is because after 7 years of every marriage, you become overwhelmed with a lot of responsibilities. If you're blessed with kids, 7 years into the marriage, you begin to realize that you have a lot of answers for your kids. When the kids starts to talk, like in between 2 years, getting to 3 years, they ask like 1,000 questions in a minute. Mommy, what is this? Mommy, what is this called? Mommy, what, so you have to be constantly up to date with everything and give them the names of objects around them, because that's when they are learning. They're learning how to pronounce words. They're learning how to speak well. They're learning mannerism. They're learning how to act in public. So that is when they start building their self-confidence. So kids are a lot of work 7 years into marriage because they're developing. And you as a mother or a parent, you develop with them. You grow with them. You nurture them through the steps. So if you're this overwhelmed, if you're doing all of these things, and then at the end of the day you have to come home and then you're doing cleaning, you're doing washing, you're feeding your husband, you're feeding your kids, and then you're pleasing the rest of the world, I mean, which most people do, you are so stressed by the time you hit your bed that intimacy is off the table. See, that is when things begin to get rough between you and your husband or you and your wife. You are not able to do things that you used to do when you first got married because you are exhausted. Let's face it. By the time you get to that bed, you don't even want to be touched. Nobody's blaming you for that. But we always attribute it to that 7 year itch and think that, oh, this is the bumpy ride. We've gotten to that stage. Stop giving it names. The reality on the ground is that you are tired because the nature of the job right now, raising kids, going to work, coming home, raising your kids, taking care of your husband, taking care of your home, is a lot on the table. So it is okay to be overwhelmed. It is okay to go through that, but don't garnish it. Let other mothers around you know that is what is happening now. It derails intimacy. It kills intimacy because you are not able to. If you were able to have like 2 or 3 times, in a week of sex, if you're able to have sex like 3 times in a week, now even one is a lot of work to you. You're thinking, oh God, I'm so tired. I can't even lift a finger. How much more my legs? So then your husband begins to think, why? She doesn't love me anymore? Am I no more attractive? Don't I do it well? And your wife is thinking, oh, maybe I'm getting wrinkles already. Or maybe my boobs are sagging now. Or maybe my body is not as firm as it used to be. There is nothing wrong with you, my peach. You are fine. What is wrong with you right now? What is happening to you right now is that you are human and you are tired of all the responsibilities that it came, alongside the 7 years that you've been married. So if couples should understand this and work through it, I'm sure you'll get somewhere with this. And now the next thing is that you're financially stressed. Now this is when you're planning on having the best of everything for your kids. When you get married, after a certain years, your priority becomes your kids. You work around the clock to make sure that these kids have everything they need in life. And when that is your goal, like that is my goal, you become financially stressed. You're so stressed that all that you worry about is, I'm going to work, I come home, I get paid, and you're living paycheck to paycheck. I do not want anything bad to happen that is not planned for. because you can't afford anything else. So when you're financially stressed, the little thing that comes in between the planned or your laid down plans, it kind of freaks you out. All of a sudden, you're like, oh my goodness, God, all I wish for today is let everything go well so that I don't have to spend a dime on anything different. You with me on that one? If you're married, you know what I'm talking about. Your table is so planned that any unplanned plan that drops on you, you freak out. So within that 7-year period, that's when you experience it, because at that time, as I said, the kids are growing, and you're planning swimming lesson, piano lessons, you're taking them to fun fairs and all of that, and those are all budgeted for already. So anything that takes you off that budget, it doesn't help you. It doesn't even make you want to kiss anybody in that house. You are stressed, and you are financially stressed as well. So then you begin to question yourself. What about me? What happens to my dreams? I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be, a footballer. I wanted to be this. But now everything is about my kids. Yes, everything is about your kids now, because nobody is going to raise these kids for you. You brought them into this world, the two of you, your husband and yourself. So you have to do right by them by giving them everything that they need. Do your very best to give them everything that they need, because those kids are your future. And you know what? The good thing about this 7-year age is it's not going to last forever. When you have a teenager, when they grow up to be teenagers and stuff, and you have even younger ones behind them, that is when you can start dating again. That's when you can leave your little one with your teenager at home, and then you and your husband can have some fun trip somewhere. You can go have dates and all of that. But until then, this bump right now is what we have to deal with. And don't beat yourself so much about what happens to my dreams. Education has no end. You can study anytime. You can go to college anytime. But if now is for your kids, please, you have to find and make time for these kids. Because if you miss this mark of raising them, somebody else outside will raise them for you. And that is when they come up to be totally different from what you want them to be. You want your kids to be responsible, right? You want them to be good kids, God-fearing. You want them to be loving, gentle, and treat women right if they're boys, and treat men right if they're girls. They're looking up to you as a mother in that house. They watch your every move, how you talk to your husband. They're watching, they're listening, they can hear you. How you treat them every day, how you're serving them, how well you dress in that house. Not wrapping cloths around you or, having all of that. Everything that you do, they watch you. What product are you selling to your kids? Just because you're in this rough age. Some people actually experience this kind of age early in their marriages. Some people experience it in the first year, some in the 4th year, some in the 2nd year, some even in the 10th year. So it depends on who this thing is happening to. But whenever it catches you, do not let it catch you off guard. Be prepared and know that you are in for the kids, and you do anything whatsoever to make sure that your kids are comfortable and raised well. I think we're done for today. So thank you for clicking on the video again. You go to YouTube and then subscribe to Time with Ohenewa. Just search for Time with Ohenewa on YouTube. Subscribe so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be notified. And then, we can have this conversation going. Share with friends who are going through difficult time right now and think that is the end of their marriage. No, it's not. There's more to it, and you are going to be pleased that, you had a smooth ride through this. Just take it easy, okay? Marriage is not for everyone, but if you happen to have somebody who loves you and marries you, you have the best in the whole world, and you have to do everything possible to make it work. I love you for watching, and I'll see you sometime very soon. All right, peaches. Bye.